Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. We're back again for the NFL, the 2025 season, and we're going to get ready for our week one predictions. So, before we get started, can you please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button for me? So, this way I could be up close and personal with you guys week in and week out, and I can give you everything that you need. I'm giving you this edge for free. So, just remember, that you're getting all of this for free. I did all the analytics. I did everything from the time the draft all the way up to the preseason, the last game this past weekend. We do have a lot of major injuries going around in the NFL, but believe me when I tell you, this is why I had to wait till the preseason was over so I can get everything all into place so I can make better predictions for you guys so you can beat the sports books and your favorite sports apps. Okay, let's go and beat Vegas. All right, let's get these guys. All right. We're here to make money. We're going to bet small to win big. But if you're a different type of better, then fine, that's okay. If you're tuning in for the first time, thank you, and hit that like and subscribe button because I'm going to give you an edge that no other person can give you. Okay, so I'm coming off a very successful UFL season. You can look at my previous videos for that. But right now, we're going to do the week one NFL predictions. And we're going to start off with the first two matchups of the weekend. And that's, of course, the Thursday night game and the Friday night game, which is going to be played in Brazil, which is kind of hilarious because I don't see a home game for either team, although the Chargers will differ from that because their fans don't support their team. But anyway, let's get going with the Thursday night game first, okay? You got the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles, okay? I already wrote down my predictions for that game, and I don't want to keep you guys too busy. So basically, what I'm going to tell you right now is that the Eagles, I'm going to money line that one. I'm going to give you the over and under with, I believe it's going to be the over in that game, 46 and a half, I believe is the over and under. We're going to go with the over. And then we're going to do the spread of minus 6.5. I really believe that Michael Parsons hasn't signed yet with the Dallas Cowboys at the time of this, and that's a huge hit for their defense. I think offensively, the Cowboys will hang in there. I'm a little weary about that 6.5, that minus 6.5 for the Eagles that I'm going to take, thinking that it's a interdivision rivalry. I think the Cowboys might hang in there because, the acquisition of George Pickens, it's going to free up CeeDee Lamb. It's also going to free up the tight end Jake Ferguson, and it's going to make the offense a little bit better. But defensively, they're going to take a hit if they don't have Micah Parsons, okay? Um, Eagles are returning most of their team. They do have some injuries on that O-line, right, with Lane Johnson. I don't think he's going to play. But as long as you have Saquon Barkley, you got the tush push, you got Jalen Hurts, you got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, and also the acquisition of John Michie III. I just think the Eagles will win this game, okay? Let's go to the Friday night matchup. You got the Chiefs. I'm taking the over and under of 45 and a half. I'm going to go with the over. I think I'm a money line the Chiefs in this game. And I'm going to take that -3. I think this game should be probably in the high 20s for both teams. That's why I'm taking the over. But I just feel like the Chiefs, I think they're on a mission this year. I really do. I think they got embarrassed in that Super Bowl. They want to come back. First of all, until someone knocks them out of the Western Division champs, I just see this team continuing to succeed in that AFC West. As for the Chargers, Najee Harris, I don't think he's going to play. Blew out his eye on the 4th of July. Omarion Hampton is a rookie. You're asking too much, okay? But I think he's going to do well. I think Justin Herbert's going to do okay, although he's going to need help at the wide receiver position. It's just Lad McConkey, Trey Harris, and I believe they just re-signed Keenan Allen, okay? But I don't think that's enough to beat the Chiefs. Now let's go to the Sunday games, okay? The early games. We got the Buccaneers at the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to take the Buccaneers. I know they got some big injuries with Tristan Wirfs at offensive tackle. They also have that injury with Jalen McMillan that he suffered this past weekend. I like the over of 47 and a half, so I'm going to take the over on it. I'm going to take the 47 and a half. I think it's going to be one of those high-scoring games that we saw last season between these two. I'm going to take that -1.5. It's just asking the Buccaneers to win by -1.5 by 2 points, right? Um, I also put an asterisk next to this game. I'll show you the board in a second. And the reason for it is this is a tough game. It could go either way because the Falcons are really good on offense. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, okay, Bijan Robinson, that he wants to be called now, and you got Michael Penix coming back. It's not a bad football team. It's a team that I believe is going to challenge the Buccaneers for the division. But I believe the winner of this game, I think, gets that edge to win the division. But I just feel Baker Mayfield's on fire. These past, 2, 3 years, Baker Mayfield has been one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I do see the Buccaneers coming in here and winning this game. And the next game is the Cincinnati Bengals without Trey Hendrickson. And that defense, they really did not improve on that defense. It looked kind of shaky in the preseason, but even before that, I felt the loss of Mike Hilton as well. That's a big blow to a defense that really needs to get better. If the Bengals have aspirations to get back to the Super Bowl, they have to fix that defense because offensively, the weapons are there. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, okay. I believe they also brought in another weapon, Noah Fant, right? Tight end to go along with Mike Gesicki, right? Oh my God, Chase Brown at running back. The offense, they're going to score at least 30 to 35 points per game. But I think the defense is also going to give up about 30, 35 points a game. It's even with Trey Hendrickson, they still had trouble last year on defense. But with that said, they're traveling to Cleveland, and this is where I think it's going to get something that looks like a sure bet really isn't, right? We were given -5.5, right? It's almost like a given, right? Everyone's probably rolling the money in Vegas towards the Bengals with that -5.5, but I'm going to put the +1.5 for the Cleveland Browns, right? I'm going to take the Bengals, but I think the Browns are going to hang in there in this game, make it a +5.5. I think Myles Garrett is going to put a lot. I think that defensive line looks good for Cleveland, right? I mean, they're going to put a lot of pressure on Joe Burrow. And I think the secondary, even though they took a couple of injuries in the preseason, they could still hang in there. I think Joe Flacco could at least get a touchdown or two in this game against that sad defense of the Cincinnati Bengals. I look for them to lose. I look for the Cleveland Browns to lose this game, but they're going to hang in there tough. I think the +5.5 is correct. I think the Bengals money line and the spread take the underdog, right? +5.5. So I'm going to take the Bengals and the +5.5. Let's go to the next game. Miami Dolphins at the Indianapolis Colts. Daniel Jones is starting at quarterback, and that's where I have an issue, right? They got some skill position players in Jonathan Taylor, Alec Pierce, who always finds the end zone. Josh Downs is a playmaker there, right? And then they drafted Tyler Warren, who I think might be the next Brock Bowers in the NFL. For a rookie, he looked good in preseason. I think they're going to use him a lot, especially in the red zone. I think the Colts are going to hang in there. That's why I feel like Miami's going to win this game because I think their skill position players, right, are just right there. And Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, it's going to be hard to stop those guys. And I'm not big on Tua Tagovailoa, right? If that's his name, right? Sorry if I'm being disrespectful to his name, but I never was sold on this guy as the quarterback. Gets injured a lot, and unless he stays healthy, then Miami's going to be a good football team. But I think they're between 7 and 9 win team, and it's the defense is okay. Okay, it's not going to blow you off the stats, right? But they're okay defense. Offensively with Devon A-Chain, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill. They traded away Juju Smith. I did not like that trade. I don't think Darren Waller is going to be available for week 1. He just might. But if he does play, he's coming off of retirement. He is a good tight end. But I'm not really sold on this game for the Colts. I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins on the roll. I'm going to take the over 46.5 and a -1.5. Let's now go to the next game, and I put an asterisk on that game because this game could go either way. Raiders at the New England Patriots. I know everybody's jumping on the Patriots bandwagon. Oh, they got, head coach Mike Vrabel now. Yeah, this guy's going to change it around. He is. He is. He's a defensive minded coach who loves to run the ball with play action behind it. They brought back Josh Daniels to run that offense, right? Drake May's coming back second year. He took a lot of sacks last year, played injured a lot. This year, he looked good in preseason, okay? They got some weapons on the outside. They brought in Stephon Diggs, yet I don't know what his status is for that game, so you better check the injury report on this game. It's one of the reasons why I'm going to roll with the Raiders. I think the Raiders have, both these teams are almost similar, right? They're both led by two good coaches, Pete Carroll and Mike Vrabel. I just feel that the Raiders are feeling it this year. I think the Raiders are going to get better. I think this is a matchup between two teams. I think the winner of this game, believe it or not, if the Patriots win, I think they have a chance to get to the playoffs or win at least 9 games. I also think if the Raiders win this game, their season, their confidence is just going to get better. They got better at quarterback with Geno Smith. They got better at running back with the draft of Ashton Gianti, who could be up for Rookie of the Year at the end. Let's see how he does, right? At wide receivers, Jacoby Myers, he's okay. Trey Tucker, I believe it's the other guy, he's okay. The tight end is awesome. I mean, they got Brock Bowers to back him up, Michael Myers, right? I think New England, Ramondre Stevenson, right? And Travion Henderson looked great in the preseason. So on my board, it's going to look like this. I'm taking the Raiders with the under 42 and a half, right? Combined points in this game. And I'm going to take the plus 2.5. So that's what it looks like right now. Okay. That's what it looks like right now for us. Okay. There are other games to go. So let's keep it going. There are other early games. All right. Let me pause this for a second while I update the board. All right, guys. I updated the board again. Let's go with the Steelers in the next game, right? It's the Steelers at the Jets. And I just feel that the Steelers are coming into this game with Aaron Rodgers. This is the game that Aaron Rodgers is going to prove to Jets fans and the Jet organization that they made a mistake getting rid of him. I see him throwing a couple of touchdown passes in his game. Uh, However, they're going to be playing against both. First of all, both these teams have tremendous defenses. So this is why I'm going to take the under of 38 and a half. I am taking the Steelers on the money line, and I'm taking a -3. I just feel like Justin Fields, if he starts this game, I feel he's athletic enough. But listen, if he was a better quarterback than what people imagine, he'd still be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Let's be honest, right? I mean, the dude has an upside, right? But from what I saw in preseason, from what I'm hearing from all the reporters, is that this guy is still struggling trying to read a defense in practice. Okay? You're talking practice, all right? So let's take the Steelers. Let's money line it over and under of 38 and a half. And the spread we're going to take for -3. I think this will be a real a game that could end up like maybe somewhere between 20 and 17. It could be a push for a lot of bettors out there. Let's go to the next game. Commanders, right? Giants at the Commanders. This is an interesting game because from what I saw in preseason, Giants, well, I said it from the beginning, Giants are always going to have a solid defense. I think Abdul Carter is going to be a beast to go with Brian Burns, and to go with Thibodeau, right, on the outside. I think these guys, and Dexter Lawrence, let's not forget him, right, the man beast in the middle. I think the Giants are going to hang in there defensively against Washington. This is why I'm going to take the +6.5. I don't think they'll win the game, but you never know, right? Russell Wilson's probably going to start this game. Jackson Dart was impressive, but I think this is a Russell Wilson type game where he's going to use Malik Neighbors a lot. I think the running game of Devin Singletary, Bo Scatterbo, that's his name, right? Scatterbo. Maybe he can help with short yardage. But Washington, Jaden Daniels, we all love his game. We all love what he did last season. However, Terry McLaurin, I don't know what that situation is. Up to now, he hasn't been signed. So this is why I'm a money line the Commanders because they're playing at home. That's the only edge I'm giving them at the moment. I didn't see any improvement on their defense over the offseason. I was really disappointed in that, especially for a team that came close to getting to the Super Bowl. They should have upgraded that defense. They do have Debo Samuel. Okay, they have Zach Ertz at tight end. Then they got a new running back. Oh God, I forgot his name, but I think it's Ja'Cory Merritt or something like that. They ended up trading Brian Robinson, but he was a fumbler anyway. I mean, we also won that championship game laying down the rock, and he's always had a history of that anyway. But anyway, I'm gonna take the Commanders. I'm a money line them. Okay, I think Jaden Daniels makes the difference. I think the over and under, I'm going to take the over 45 and a half. I think Russell Wilson's going to make this game high scoring. I think he's going to be throwing that football around, okay? It's not like they don't have a running game. They have a decent running game. It's not that bad. But that plus 6.5, I'm going to take, okay? Now, next game, Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, I believe they're playing that game I believe it's at Carolina, I believe. Let me check my notes real quick. I don't think I have it in front of me, but either way, I'm going to take the Jaguars, okay? I'm going to take the Jaguars here. I just think they're a much better team than Carolina. I like the -3. I think they'll be able to win by 4. If not, it'll be a push, right? I love that kicker, Cam Little. Oh, my God, he kicked a 70-yard field goal in preseason. That's a weapon. That is a weapon, and he is going to make a difference in a lot of sports bettors out there from week 1 all the way to the end of the season. But I like the Jaguars here, but I'm going to take the under of 46.5, but I'm taking a -3. Not to spend too much time in this game. Bryce Young is a good quarterback. I believe Xavier Leggett is his wideouts along with Adam Thielen. Chuba Hubbard is their running back. He's a decent running back, but I just think Jacksonville with Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas on the outside, Parker Washington. I think the running game of Travis Etienne, and then they got Balshul Tutin. I really like this guy coming out of college at running back. So I just think the Jaguars are just a more talented team. That's why I'm taking them. And Trevor Lawrence is going to have a breakout season. He's going to have to, and I believe this could be the year. But I'm going to take the under 46.5. I don't see too many points in this game, but I just think Jacksonville is a better team. All right, next we got the Arizona Cardinals, right? It's one of the late games here, and I believe that they're going to be playing. Oh my God, you know what? I'm having some type of a brain fart here. I believe the Cardinals. I'm a money line the Cardinals in this game, right? And I'm gonna take the over and under of 41.5. Forgive me, folks, for not remembering the team that they're playing. Oh my God. You know what? I just found out. It's the New Orleans Saints. Guys, that's probably why I forgot who they were playing. This team's in trouble, the Saints. They might be up for the first round pick next season also. So check this out. I got the Cardinals. We're gonna money line that, right? The over and under was at 41.5. We're going to go with the over. I just think the Cardinals are going to blaze through this game. Not to say that the Saints have a bad defense, but I just think that the Cardinals got to come out and they got to blaze. They got to smoke this team if they're going to make any noise this year. I actually have the Cardinals as one of the surprise teams of 2025. But I'm going to take that -5.5. Okay, guys? I'm going to take the -5.5. I think it's safe. I'm surprised it's at -5.5, unless Spencer Rattler and the Saints pull off a miracle and keep this game close. I just don't see it. But because all the money's rolling in Vegas towards the Cardinals, guess what, people? Upset alert, right? I would really be pissed off if that happens, and I'm sure a lot of bettors would. Let's take the Cardinals. Kyler Murray, Trey McBride, James Conner, Marvin Harrison Jr., Greg Dortch. Okay, Zay Jones. I mean, they just have enough weapons. Not to say that the Saints don't have weapons, but they don't got a guy that could throw to them. Tyler Shuck, Spencer Rattler, trying to throw it to a very talented Chris Olaf. It's just not going to happen. All right? So this is what that board's going to look like. Okay, guys. Let me pause this again while I get the rest of the games. All right, guys, I just updated the board. Let's go with the Broncos is the next game. They're going to be playing the Tennessee Titans at Denver. This is a bad game for a rookie quarterback in Cam Ward, the #1 draft pick. Denver just has a solid defense, right? And their offense, I tell you what, man, I'm very impressed with the fact that Bo Nix last year did what he did. He's coming back for his sophomore year. I really believe Bo Nix is going to go to that next level. He's got a plethora of wide receivers from Marvin Mims. He's got Cortland Sutton. He's got himself another wide receiver in Troy Franklin, who I think is going to break out at some point. And then his running back of R.J. Harvey, right? I mean, this team is loaded. They're going to challenge the Kansas City Chiefs. I said that from my previous video. They're going to challenge the Kansas City Chiefs for this division. I'm going to take the over of 41.5 against Tennessee. Tennessee, obviously they're rebuilding. Cam Ward was a good draft pick from what I saw already in preseason. And yes, it is preseason, I'm sorry to say. But it's going to take time for him to get adjusted. Calvin Ridley on the outside, Van Jefferson. I'm not really thrilled with their wide receivers. They do have a solid tight end in Chick Aquaquando, I believe is his name, but he's a good tight end. But other than that, Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard at running backs, they're going to have to keep this game close, but I don't think it's enough to beat the Denver Broncos. Okay, let's go to the next game. Seattle Seahawks playing the 49ers at Seattle. I'm taking the Seahawks. I'm a money line it. I'm going to go with the over 45.5, and I'm going to take the plus 2.5 because obviously the Seahawks are the underdogs for this game. And the reason for it is because, first of all, I don't know why everyone thinks the San Francisco 49ers are going to make some type of noise this year. They're going to have to stay healthy free. That seems to be the problem the past couple of seasons. Brock Purdy, wow, overpaid quarterback. And listen, I mean that. The guy gets hurt a lot. However, when he's healthy, he's one of the best out there, right? But he's more of an upgraded game manager, okay? Let's be real. Brandon Ayuk is still out. Jawan Jennings is going through some issues with his hamstring, I believe. Ricky Pearsall, don't really know his status at the moment. But I mean, they traded for Brian Robinson to help out with Christian McCaffrey. So I think San Francisco is going to go into this game, right? A decent defense, right? Depleted defense, but it's okay. They're led by defensive coordinator Robert Saleh. But I think they're going to try to keep this game close with the running of Christian McCaffrey and Brian Robinson. But I don't think they have enough to beat the Seahawks. The Seahawks got some decent players at running back. Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, right? If I said that correctly, Najigma, right? Smith on the outside, okay? He's a threat, okay? I just think Seattle is, Sam Darnold scares me a little bit at quarterback. I don't know if they really upgraded that position, but what he did with Minnesota, people feel like it was an upgrade. I'm not so sure about that. I'm just going to take the Seahawks. I'm a money line it. Am I confident? This game could, I don't know. But I'm going to take, it's at Seattle. The 12th man will play a part. I'm going to take the over 45.5, and I'm going to take the plus 2.5 because Seattle at the moment is the underdog. Next game, and this game could go either way, right? If you guys have noticed, the red star asterisk next to some of the games that I'm showing you on the whiteboard, it just means that these games could go either way. That's all it means, and you guys are going to have to make that decision. Me personally, I feel that this game's in Green Bay, although Detroit's had their number there a few times. Detroit is coming in healthy-wise on offense. I mean, David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta at tight end. Just a lot of weapons, right? And you just hope that Green Bay could just keep them out of the end zone for at least 3 quarters or something, right? But that's not going to happen. Right? Now, stupid me, I looked at this game. Oh, it's at home. Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs. They got a plethora of wide receivers. They even drafted one, right? And I'm thinking, this is going to go Green Bay's way. But somewhere in the back of my head, and it could easily be a pick'em game. But I'm a money line the Packers. I'm going to take the over 49.5. I just feel a lot of scoring is going to happen in this game. I'm going to take the -1.5. It should be a field goal type of, they should win the game by a field goal. It's at home, right? That's an advantage. But Jordan Love, I believe, had injured his thumb during the preseason. If I had to change this pick, I think I will roll with Detroit. That's why I put that asterisk. I'll beat myself to death next weekend if Detroit wins, and I never changed it. Let's go to the next game. We got the Houston Texans at the LA Rams. Well, if Matt Stafford wasn't dealing with a back problem, this would be a sure thing for me, right? Because Matt Stafford, when he's on the money, he's on the money. And he's got a new weapon in Devontae Adams, okay? To go with Puka Nacua, okay? They got a running game of Blake Corum along with Kyron Williams, who had a breakout year last year, right? And what can you say about the defensive line? Jared Verse, right? And the defense, but I think he's also he's got a little bit of an injury himself. He's questionable for this Sunday's game. Now, that -2.5, right? I'm a money line the Rams. I'm gonna take the -2.5, and I'm gonna take the over 44.5. Now, the Texans do play solid defense. Okay, they have some serious good corners on the outside, right? And the quarterback is C.J. Stroud. Joe Mixon is not playing, so Nick Chubb, I believe, is going to get most of the carries. I think Joe Mixon is out. Nico Collins is one of the receivers, but he needs help on the outside, okay? He can't do it all by himself. C.J. Stroud's a good quarterback, but every now and then he does make mistakes like last season. So let's money line the Rams, and let's take the over of 44.5, and let's do that -2.5. And now let me change over this whiteboard again. Let's continue. Let me just pause for a second. All right, let me show you the whiteboard from before. I don't think I showed it. I thought I did, but I don't know. All right, you see those two asterisks right there? Okay, that's what I mean about these games could go either way. I could easily throw an asterisk on that Seahawks game. Like I said, it's gonna be a battle in that game. I think it'll go over, but I'm gonna take the Seahawks because they're the underdog. That was the only reason. All right, let's go to the final two games. I believe it's the Bills and the Vikings in the final two games. Okay, guys, let's go to the final two games. The Sunday night game, obviously, the Baltimore Ravens are going to travel to Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Bills, a rematch of last year's championship. No, not rematch of last year's championship, excuse me, of the divisional in which Mark Andrews dropped what could have been the game-time touchdown that could have sent it into overtime and whatnot. Let me just say this. I know everyone has the Baltimore Ravens to head to the Super Bowl. Either one of these teams, right? The Josh Allen-led Buffalo Bills and Lamar Jackson-led Baltimore Ravens. I think these are two of the best talented teams in the AFC. This is going to be a great Sunday night matchup. Baltimore, obviously, with revenge on their mind, right? Mark Andrews, obviously, he's going to get revenge in his mind as well, right? He's going to want to make up for that drop touchdown pass, right? That's not his legacy because Mark Andrews is a great tight end. But unfortunately, it happened, and, they ended up getting bounced from the playoffs. Josh Allen, last year's MVP. Everyone thought Lamar Jackson should have been the MVP. It could have gone to either one. Both teams are talented. When you look at the skill positions, you got Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, right? You got James Cook, Josh Allen, Shaquille Khalil. You got Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox. You got Ray Davis, right, for Buffalo. You got running backs like Derrick Henry and Keenan Mitchell, right? And you got guys that, I mean, when you look at this game, it's definitely, in my opinion, I got the Buffalo Bills as the money line. I got the over 52.5. I got the -1.5 because Buffalo is favored for this game. I did put an asterisk next to this game because it could go either way. Am I positive about the over? I think so. I think both these teams are going to struggle on defense that night. I know people are going to say, well, Baltimore has the better defense. They really do. They really do. They had a good draft. I think Baltimore's definitely a top 5 defense in the league. But Buffalo's not too shabby on defense either. I just feel like whichever offense is left on the field last is going to win the game. Remember, I said that. Whichever offense is left on the field last is going to win the game. Okay? So if Buffalo's winning by 3, and Baltimore's got that offense out there with 2 minutes left or a minute left, then it's a different story, right? But this game could go either way. I'm just taking Buffalo. I'm giving them the edge. It's opening night. It's at Buffalo. I think Josh Allen is going to be hyped. I think both of them are going to be hyped. But sometimes I feel when Lamar Jackson is just too hyped, that's where he makes mistakes. But take Buffalo in this one. Minnesota Vikings at the Chicago Bears is the last game of the weekend. It's on a Monday night. I'm taking the Vikings on the money line. I'm going with the over 43.5. And I'm going to take the spread of -1.5. I believe that -1.5 is now going towards the Bears, if I'm correct. If I checked last, I think it's with the Bears. I'm not sure. If it's with the Bears, I would take the Vikings and a +1.5 as the underdogs. But if the Bears are favored, it would be definitely a +1.5 with the Vikings on the money line. I just don't see how. I know people are excited. Hey, it's Ben Johnson. It's Caleb Williams who's going to be a better quarterback. DeAndre Swift in the backfield. Luther Burden III to go with DJ Moore and Roman Odunze, right? They got Colston Loveland at tight end to go with Cole Kmet. Come on, how can you go wrong? Vikings are coming in with a second-year guy like J.J. McCarthy, right? They got Justin Jefferson with a hamstring issue, right? They got T.J. Hawkinson. They got Aaron Jones. Listen, Minnesota, Jalen Naylor at wide receiver. Minnesota's got weapons too. This is going to be a game that's going to come down to which defense is going to outperform the offense of the opposing team towards the end of the game. I feel Brian Flores is just going to throw the blackboard at Caleb Williams. And at some point in this game, that blackboard's going to bounce off Caleb Williams' head, and it's just going to knock him out. I think the defensive coordinator of Chicago is going to try to do the same with J.J. McCarthy. But I just think him being in the system for 2 years as an understudy to Sam Darnold and Kevin O'Connell, I just feel like from what I saw in preseason, from what I expect from him, he's not just a game manager, but he's almost like a Brock Purdy, but a better version. Yes, people, I'm saying it right now, a better version of Brock Purdy. I think this guy's got it. Okay. I'm taking the over 43.5 and a -1.5. And I did put these asterisks right next to both these games because it's going to go either way. You can't go wrong, people. But when I put these asterisks on, people, you got to understand, right? As a sports bettor, why would you even bother looking at these games as far as betting? Why would you even try to take these games on a parlay? You're better off with just sticking with what you know, right? If there's a game out there that's easy money, take the easy money. Right? And if you got a parlay going with easy money, take the easy money, right? We're betting small to win big. Hit that like and subscribe button for me, people. We're betting small to win big. But if you're a big bettor, that's up to you. Then congratulations. And I hope you win with my picks because I'm giving you this edge for free, people. You don't have to pay me. You don't have to go looking at 1,000 websites or whatever it is you look up. This is all for free, people. I'm not going to, like I said before, I'm not going to be a guy who's going to guarantee every game's going to win. No, I'm giving you an edge that I did over the offseason, okay? I did everything I possibly could to give you an edge by studying these teams. Forget the analytics. I don't go by what these teams did last year, 2 years ago. I don't care what the history shows. It's a brand new season. It's 2025, people, and that's what you got to understand. So that's how I did all of this for you guys, right? The edges for free. Believe me when I trust you. I know what I see, okay? I know, I trust, and I'm giving this to you because I want you guys to go out there and beat the sports books. Beat your sports app, your favorite sports apps. Just beat them. Okay, and this next category is going to be awesome because this next category is going to touch on the best group of players that I feel are going to score this Sunday, right? And this is going to be hard to put together. So I'm only going to like maybe put a couple of parlays up so you guys could get an example of what I'm going to be putting up as far as touchdown scores for week one. What I love about this category is that you could place a $5 or $10 bet on your sports app. And I'm pretty sure you can only do it on the sports apps unless you're doing player props, which I don't do. Um, I don't do that much player props only when it comes around playoff season because it'll take forever. We'll be here for 3 hours if I had to do player props for each game. Okay, you guys are really smart enough to know which are the best player props out there, and then you take it, parlay it, do whatever, single game, you name it. Now, with this touchdown scorer thing that I do with my parlays, and it's awesome, a $5 bet, a $10 bet, and you line up the perfect 10 or 15 guys that you think are going to score and they all hit, you're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars that you're going to walk away with, okay? And I'm giving you this list for free. I'm giving you what I'm going to be picking this weekend, right? Week one, I should say. This is what I'm going to be picking week one. I'm putting a list together of underdogs. We know the obvious, right? We know that the obvious guys that are going to score are going to be guys like Joe Burrow, right? He's good for 2 touchdowns a game. We know that Baker Mayfield is going to get one in the end zone, right? We know who's another quarterback. We know that Sam Darnold's going to get one in the end zone, right? As bad as I think of him, he's still going to get one in the end zone, right? We know the obvious players that could get in the end zone for Sundays, like Justin Jefferson, right? A wide receiver who's hard to cover, right? Brock Bowers, a fantastic tight end, right? We're going to go away from the obvious, and my list is going to concentrate on the underdogs, and I'll tell you why. Because when you build your list with a $5 bet, $10 bet, you're going to add. I'm only going to give you what I think is an underdog parlay, and then you could subtract, and then add your favorite player. Even though your favorite player may not give you the quality points to up your parlay and money value, you can still put them in because if you got 15 and you add another 4 short thins on that parlay, it just ups the money value, guys. Just think about it. $5 bet's going to give you $20,000, $30,000 on your sports app. That's crazy. That's crazy. And you'd be nuts not to try this. Now, am I big on point spreads, money lines, and over and unders? I'm going to be honest with you. I know that's tough to hit. That is the hardest thing to do, is to try to win games like that. But on your sports apps, and I'm not sure that sports books do it. If there are some that might do it, okay, fine. But fantasy owners love stuff like this. If you could put a list of touchdown makers for this upcoming week one, 10, 15 players, pick guys with value. Because I'll give you an example. If I had a choice between Joe Flacco and Joe Burrow, and this is just an example, I'm going to take Flacco to get in the end zone to throw a touchdown pass. Because if he does, he would be like a plus 480 compared to what a minus 125 or a 110 would be for Joe Burrow. You get my drift? And that's what I mean about what I'm about to do. And this is why I love doing this section. So let's get to it. We're going to put a parlay together, me and you, okay? And when we're putting this parlay together, okay, I'm just going to add guys with value. You're not going to see favorites on it. And if you do see a favorite, okay, that's just because maybe I wasn't thinking hard enough to get a more valuable player on that list. So let's get to it. Let's build this parlay and let's run with it in week one and let's see how we do with it. Okay, again, I'm not going to do player props. We'll be here for 3 hours. I know you guys want to run to your sports books right now and you want to run to the to your sports apps, but I will wait till Sunday. Well, not till Sunday. Remember, I'm not putting primetime players like Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday night, and Monday night. I'm not putting primetime players on my list because one piece of advice: never, never, never do a parlay where you got to wait for other touchdown makers later on another time zone. Just don't do it. Stick with the early games on Sundays and stick with the late games on Sundays, okay? Forget the Thursday night games. You could do single games for that, right? Primetime games, I would do a single list for just for that game. But The games on Sundays, we're going to put a list together, early list and a late list, right? Early games, late games. And this is going to help you make some money and beat those Vegas sports books and those sports apps. Oh, man. Okay, so let's get to it, all right? Okay, guys, let's put the first parlay together, okay? Like I said, we're going for value for this list, all right? For touchdown scorers, right? We're going to write here scorers, okay? And we're going to start putting a list here. Okay, let's start off with Joe Flacco, right? We got number one, we got Joe Flacco. We're going to start off with Joe Flacco of the Cleveland Browns, quarterback, okay? We're going to go with him. He has value. Let's go with the second quarterback. We got Daniel Jones. I think he's going to throw a touchdown against the Miami Dolphins, even though that's a tough defense. But if he gets one in there, guess what? He's valuable. He's worth a lot. He should be in the high pluses, right? Should be in the high pluses for that game. Same as Joe Flacco. I'm sure he's going to get one in against that soft defense of Cincinnati. Okay? Let's go for Drake May, right? I like Drake May's chances. Even though the secondary of the Los Angeles Raiders is very good, I still think that Drake May could get one in there, okay? He may not carry that much of a plus value. He could honestly be on the minus side, but I like to put him on the list, okay? Let's throw in a couple of other players. Let's go with Cade Otton, tight end, okay? The Buccaneers. This is a guy who's worth a lot. I think he could get behind that Atlanta secondary. If not on the outside, he could get inside the end zone for Baker Mayfield, right? This just means that Baker's going to throw a touchdown, right? If you take Cade on, who's a tight end, this is how you look at your list. If you're taking a guy who's going to score a receiver from a team, you might as well take the quarterback, right? Because he's got to throw it. So that would give you Baker Mayfield, right? But we're not going to write his name here. What we're going to tell you to do is add it to your list. Well, as soon as you make this list up, you look at it and you say, hey, I should put Baker Mayfield on it if I got Cade on. Then put Baker Mayfield. It just ups your value of your parlay, all right? That's the best way to look at it. Okay, we're up to the fifth guy, right? I got T. Higgins, all right? No, he's not going to up the value of your parlay because I'm pretty sure everyone's expecting him to get in the end zone, right? So they're going to say, T. Higgins, he's like Jamar Chase. They're going to find the end zone. But maybe Jamar Chase is going to get triple covered in this game, and he'll get the yardage, maybe not in the end zone, and then they'll just throw it to T. Higgins. He also has another receiver, Andre Eusebius, and that's a guy, if you put him on your list, wow, will he be worth a lot of money on that? All right, let's go to the number 6 guy, right? So we're doing very well right now. And guess what? Here's another quarterback, all right? Maybe no one's paying attention. Maybe I wasn't. But I like Michael Penix, right? Michael Penix Jr., I believe is his name. That guy has value. That's a nice parlay list we're putting together. That guy has value. Later on, you're going to put on Baker Mayfield, right, to add to the list. But right now, I think with Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Darnell Mooney, they got a couple of receivers. Bijan Robinson could come out of the backfield for him and catch a touchdown. So it's nice to know that you could put a guy like this on your list. Remember, I'm going to write right here next to it. Early game parlay. And then I'm going to show you the whiteboard. If I could fit all these names in, that would be great. If not, I'll erase these names and then continue on. All right, let's continue. Russell Wilson, another quarterback. It's going to be playing against Washington, right? Now, you might say, why would you take Russell Wilson? Have you seen his wide receivers? Malik Neighbors? I mean, this guy's another Justin Jefferson. This guy is a beast. You saw what he did his rookie year. Now he's got a better quarterback than Russell Wilson. I could easily put down Jaden Daniels, but he's not going to have as value as Russell Wilson. That's how you got to think, guys. And if you feel that Jaden Daniels belongs in this list, if you feel you got to put him in, he's going to throw a touchdown. You said it yourself, Baker Mayfield's going to throw one, and you're going to add him on the list because his receiver caught one. Well, then put him down. I'm just giving you value names, okay? So let's go to number 8. And guys, I hope you are tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button. Okay, we're gonna go with Tua Tags, right, from the Miami Dolphins. I call him Tua Tags because this guy's name, it's so hard to pronounce, man. And I don't mean to be disrespectful to some of these players, man. I really don't. Okay, but he's gonna get one in there, right? Tua's gonna get one in. He's got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle at wide receivers. Come on, man. It's not like the Colts defense is the greatest on the field. Come on, you got to get a touchdown, Tua. Come on. I know he's got Devon A-Chain back there, but Miami, are you going to be that team this year, or are you going to be a team that's going to hover between 7 and 8 wins? Come on. All right, number 9. And by the way, stay upright this time, Tua, okay? Number 9, I think we're going to have to go to another side of this blackboard. Jerry Jeudy of the Cleveland Browns. I mean, he's not a guy that's going to carry a lot of value but it's because Joe Flacco is going to throw a touchdown. And I believe if he throws that touchdown, it's going to be to Jerry Jeudy. If not him, David Njoku, right? You could do either one. I would prefer putting David Njoku on this list. You know what? Let me see. Do I have him even on this tight end list? No. But anyway, if I was positive about who to take, like Jerry Jeudy or David Njoku for Cleveland, I know Joe Flacco's going to throw a touchdown. It's going to be Jerry Jeudy. I just think that Cincinnati secondary is soft. All right, let me first put this up so you can get an idea of the first 9 guys we got going. Hopefully you guys can pause the tape, okay? Or the video, I should say. All right, to get this list on your side. All right, we're up to number 9. That was Jerry Jeudy. Okay, I think you guys get it. If not, just pause the video, guys. I mean, come on. I mean, make life easy for yourself, right? You don't have to rewind. Just pause the video. That's what YouTube is there for. That's why we do this. All right, we're putting a crazy list together of the early game parlay. We're up to number 10. Okay, who would be the number 10 guy here? Wow, here's a name that probably no one never even heard of. Tyler Algier. Do you know who that is, guys? No? Let me explain to you. He's a running back for the Atlanta Falcons. He's a running back for the Atlanta Falcons. Let me repeat that so you guys can look him up. Okay? Now, you talk about value, that guy has value. Then you get Jaylen Warren of the Steelers, right? Jaylen Warren of the Steelers, right? I believe he's going to be used somewhere in this game in the goal line or something, right? Either a Pat Freiermuth touchdown's going to happen, right? Maybe Aaron Rodgers gets one to Pat Freiermuth. And guess what? We're going to put Pat Freiermuth on this list too. Pat Freiermuth. I hope I spelled it right. He's the tight end of the Steelers. He's going to, this is going to be one of those games where it's going to be tight. So, wow. If I had to pick one of the two to get in the end zone, I'm going to pick Pat Freiermuth. I just think that Aaron Rodgers wants to get that in there. And by the way, you could put Aaron Rodgers on the list. But right now, we're going with undervalued guys. How about Trevor Lawrence, guys, right? If you're going to take a quarterback to go on this list, definitely got to put Trevor Lawrence, right? It's not like he's blowing up the stats. This guy struggles, gets hurt a lot. He's playing against a weak Panthers defense. Not too weak, but their secondary did not look strong for me in the preseason. All right. Now, I'm going to put, you know what? I'm going to put Geno Smith here against the New England Patriots. Now, the reason is I'm a little hesitant, right? I'm a little hesitant because I feel that New England's defense is led by 2 good corners, right? Christian Gonzalez, right? On the other side, I forgot the guy's name, but on the other side, they got another good corner. It's going to be tough to get into the end zone or throw a touchdown. But I think Brock Bowers is going to get in there, right? I think Brock Bowers is going to be a guy that's going to find the end zone. Now, you could put him on the list, but he's going to be on the minus side. You know who's going to probably have the same value as Brock Bowers? Aaron Rodgers. So I'd rather put Aaron Rodgers because if Geno Smith throws a touchdown, it may not be to Brock Bowers. It could be to Michael Myers. It could be to a running back like Ashton Gianti coming out of the backfield, right? So I'd rather put Aaron Rodgers rather than take the risk, right? That's how you got to think. Rather than take the risk of putting a no name, not a no name, a guy that the defense is going to surround themselves with, and you take Aaron Rodgers over Brock Bowers. And this is what my final 15 players would look like on that first early game parlay. We're not doing primetime parlays, okay? Primetime games are separated and they have, you just can't, you will have to do player props with those guys, okay? We're just doing the Sunday early games and the Sunday late games. And this is what the early game parlays will look like. I gave you 15 guys. Now, with the 15 players that I gave you, they all have value. They're going to make that parlay. Wow. You're looking at thousands and thousands of dollars on just a $5 bet, guys. $5. Imagine going into Sunday with $100 of fun money. $100 of fun money, break it up into different parlays. You could do a list of 10, list of 15, list of 20 plays, list of 25 plays. With $5, you could do about 20 parlays for $100. Imagine hitting just one of them. You're definitely going to make a lot of money. And that's what we do, guys. We're here to make money, right? I'm giving you this edge for free, and you have to take advantage of it, guys. You really do. Okay, now we're going to do a late game parlay, okay? All right, let's start doing the late game parlay, guys. Let's see where we're at, right? Okay. Well, the number one draft pick, we're going to go with Cam Ward, Titans. He has a lot of value coming into this game. It's not guaranteed that he's going to throw a touchdown. It's a tough defense, but it would be nice for him to get one in there, and that will send your parlay out the roof. But you can always replace him if you don't feel comfortable with him with another quarterback. Okay, you could go with another late game quarterback. All right. Okay, Bo Nix, definitely I'm putting on my parlay. I don't know how much of a value he would, but since you get less games in the afternoon, this is why the late game parlays are difficult. Never mix early game parlays with late game parlays, because if one goes bad, it kills the entire parlay for the day. Your day is ruined. You're going to get pissed at Casino Pete, and you're going to say you're an idiot, Casino Pete, and I'm going to say to you, no, you're the idiot, because I put an early game and a late game parlay together for you, and I explained to you why you don't mix time zones, okay? You just don't do it. You don't even do it with the over and unders, with the spread, or the money lines, right? You're not going to mix primetime games with Sunday games and night games and blah, blah, blah. You're not going to do that, all right? So don't be stupid. Come on. All right, so let's continue. We're up to the third guy on this list. I like R.J. Harvey, running back from the Denver Broncos. Now, listen, I know I'm putting a lot of these names up there, right? Quarterbacks are different. They're there to throw touchdown passes. So you could put Bo Nix and R.J. Harvey, right, on a touchdown list, right? If R.J. Harvey scores, whether it's running or catching, it counts as one, okay? Whether it's running or catching, it counts as one, okay? So it's not like, okay, he put Bo Nix for touchdown and he put R.J. Harvey. That's 14 points. No, it's going to be 7 points because Bo Nix threw to R.J. Harvey. So it's 6 points, actually, okay? With the extra point, makes it 7. But what I'm trying to tell you is, if I put 4 Denver Broncos on there, doesn't mean it's 28 points. It just means that one of them's a quarterback who's getting them the ball, all right? So relax, all right? You might think that, wow, this guy thinks that's going to be a high-scoring game. No. Okay, let's go to the next guy. I like this Trey McBride from the Cardinals, right? He's a tight end. Hey, I like Trey McBride. Let's go to the fifth one, right? Trey McBride only had 1 touchdown last season, one of the best tight ends in the league. I think he's going to have a breakout year in the end zone, okay? You got Blake Corum, running back. These guys are high value, by the way. Blake Corum, oh my God, high value. Running back for the Rams. We all saw what he could do at Michigan. Comes to the Rams, he's really good too with the Rams. Then you got his teammate, Kyron Williams. I'm just putting them on because these late games don't have that many players to put on, but I'm just taking guys that I think will be valuable, okay? I'm going to go with Troy Franklin also, wide receiver from the Denver Broncos. I totally forgot about this guy, but he is a threat. And he's worth a lot of money if he gets in the end zone, right? Then I'm going to go with Sam Laporta, tight end, Detroit Lions. Okay, I'm going to stop this list right here at 8 before I continue on. So, because I don't think I could fit any more names on there, right? So up to Sam Laporta. Okay, let me just show you. This is the late game parlay, guys. This is the list that I'm putting together. I hope you guys can read it. I know the camera fades in, it darkens it a little bit. I try to make my letters a little wide. I wish I had a way that I could put this up better, but we're going amateurish here. Okay. I'm still in the primitive stage of YouTube channels. All right. So those are my first 8 guys that I'm putting on a parlay. We got 7 more to go. Let's continue. So these guys have a lot of values. Okay. They have a lot of values. Okay. We just did 8. Let's go to 9. Okay. And number 9, and I know I don't want to be too fast for you guys because I want to give it to you the best way I can. Number 9. Who do we got at number 9? Ooh, how about Tucker Kraft from the Green Bay Packers, right? Solid tight end. This guy broke through last season, right? Green Bay Packers tight end. I like him. Like him a lot. Let's go to number 10. Okay, how about Kyler Murray? This guy could go down as anytime touchdown on a player prop. He could get it done with his legs or his arm. Guy's got a gun, but he's got some good receivers this year. And I believe I'm going to mention one of them, and that's going to be Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison Jr. They always got to put in the junior because his father was a fantastic Hall of Fame receiver in the NFL. And he's going to be one himself. This could be his breakout year, Marvin Harrison. Okay, let's continue. We're gonna put wow, didn't even put Marvin Mims from Denver. Marvin Mims. Now I could have easily have wrote down Cortland Sutton, right? But Marvin Mims is a dangerous receiver too for the Denver Broncos, and he carries more value than Cortland Sutton. We're gonna be up to number 13 now. Let's go with Zach Charbonnet. Okay. Hope I spelled it right, guys. If I didn't, please comment on my commentary. Hit that like and subscribe button, and you'll be able to do so. And I'd be able to read your comments. Guys, it's important you guys hit that like and subscribe button. I know I keep saying this over and over and over throughout the video, is because I want to be up close and personal with you guys, because when I make money, you guys are making money. And I'm going to be so happy when I hear those comments about, hey, man, you were correct. I picked some of those guys. I mixed and matched with, I did favorites with some of your underdogs and they came through. This is the purpose of, these are examples as well as some of the late game parlays I'll be doing along with early game parlays I'll be doing. Okay, I'm putting a list together for you guys because I am going to do this list myself, and I'm going to add some more plays to the list because I'm crazy like that, right? But I'm going to add favorites to give it value, right? Because right now, this list is off the charts. You're looking at over $20,000 right now. If all these guys score week 1 on both the early game and the late game, you just made $20,000 for yourself, and I'm not lying. You could when you look up your sports app and you're picking those touchdown guys, you're going to go, holy cow, this is crazy. This is crazy. They're going to hit. They're going to hit. I was doing it with FanDuel last year, okay? I hit a couple. All right. Let's go with Cooper Kupp, right? New acquisition for the Seattle Seahawks. New quarterback there with Sam Darnold, right? Now, number 15. Okay. Let me see. Listen, I'm going to put Sam Darnold. Why? Because he just threw a touchdown to Cooper Kupp. And you could go with his teammate, Njigba Smith, right? That's his name. Jackson Njigba Smith. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Hope I'm not being disrespectful. All right, guys. So there you have it. This is my late game parlay. All right. I'll show you the chart right now. Check this out. Those are 15 guys that we took for the late game parlay. I'm going with this list myself. I am going to add on a few of them. I'm going to have $100 of fun money to play with. I hope you guys do the same. I'm going to bet small on each parlay. And when I'm betting small on each parlay for the touchdown scores, I'm doing $5 to $10. I think I'm gonna start off with the $5, and I believe that should give me about 10 ways to bet on a parlay. And then I'm gonna go with $20. It'll probably just give me the five times, right? 5 ways. But the point is that we're betting with fun money. But there you have it, folks. All right. If I left out anything, you guys are free to hit that like and subscribe button. Put in your commentary. Much appreciated. All right. Now, I wasn't planning to do a video this long because I felt like I'm not getting the viewers. I feel like the viewers are getting probably upset that they have to watch a video for so long. But listen, guys, and I'm going to be honest with you when I tell you this. I'm going to be honest with you when I tell you this. Sometimes you have to watch a video that's long like this. Listen, there were guys out there putting up videos for week one as early as May when the schedule came out. And I thought that was hilarious, right? Because right now, as I'm speaking, there are some major injuries to certain games, right? We all know about the Buccaneers game, right? Wide receiver Jalen McMillan, and then the offensive tackle Tristan Wirfs. That's huge. In a big game like that, that's huge, right? Especially when you got to protect the blind side of Baker Mayfield. Then you got Matt Stafford's back, right, for the Rams. A game that looked like a short thing on paper, right? -2.5, playing at LA, Houston Texans, solid defense, but they're not going to hang with a team that has Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. They're not going to hang with a team like that, right? Kyron Williams, Blake Corum. But that injury to Matthew Stafford changes everything, man. And this is why I didn't make those early predictions. I'm not going to come off foolish. I'm not stupid, all right? I'm here to give you this edge for free. And sometimes my videos go long because I'm trying to give you that edge. And I'm so sorry that you have to sit through an hour. My suggestion would be whenever you have time, go through it. It's for your benefit. It's for your benefit. I know there's guys out there and they've been posting up since May. But you know how many videos they've already done for week one? What's going to happen on week two? They're only going to give you one video and they're going to run with it. You know what that tells me about guys that do that? They don't know what they're talking about. They just want to jump on it quick to get the viewers, right? So I don't get viewers. I don't know why, because I'm giving you this edge for free. I'm not asking you to pay me. I don't have prop money that I put up. I don't have a mansion that I live in. Okay, I'm not going to bullshit you with excuse my language. I'm not going to bullshit you with prop money, a mansion, a rental car, and sit in a Ferrari and say, had you rolled with me, you would have won all that money. First of all, everything I put down doesn't guarantee you're going to win anything. All right? I'm not going to sit here and say I win 90% of my games. I'm not going to sit here and say I win 60 to 70 or 80% of the games. That's just an exaggerated number that these people throw out there. I will say this. I know I'm always on the winning side of my bets. All right? I've made money. Trust me, I've made money since they made sports books legal and stuff like that. Since sports betting became legal, I've made money. Okay? And I'm good at this. I trust my gut. I trust my eyes. I know what I've seen. I played this game, not in the NFL, but I played it in college and high school. And I know a lot of you guys have done so too. You know how it works. Okay, so I'm giving you this edge for free because I want you guys to win and make money. You're not going to be a millionaire or a thousandaire or whatever overnight. But if you honestly put the work and effort into what I've put out there for you, which I did, I put the work and effort into it for you guys. Okay? So I know what I'm talking about. I put this edge for you guys for free. Listen, if I come out with a winning record with the spreads, the over and unders, and the money line, I'm a happy guy because I know there's guys out there that probably took me seriously, were able to mix and match some of those games, and ended up with a winning record and winning money at the casinos, at the sports books, at your sports apps. But that touchdown list, guys, I just put a list together. And if you look over that list, the potential, and listen, those are just names I threw there on that list that I studied. Okay, these guys know, they have the nose for the end zone. They may not have much value, but you could put your favorites on it. But you could put a list of 20 favorites. I can tell you right now, right off the bat, if you put Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, I'm just throwing names out there, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, guys like that, what are you going to win? You're lucky if you walk away with 200 bucks because Vegas expects them to be in the end zone, right? But if you put that list of guys with value on Sunday, and then you add your favorites to it, it ups the value. All right? Bets more to win big, guys. And that's the best way to do it. If I missed out on anything or misspelled or made a mistake, please leave it on the comments. I'm sure I will correct them. I do look over your comments. I do appreciate everything you guys do for me, all right? I don't have as many viewers as those guys that have been out there for years. And it's crazy that they were putting up week 1 predictions. It's crazy. I just came off the UFL season, a league that's so unpredictable, and I had a winning record on the money line, the over and unders, and the spreads. And this is the league I love the most, the NFL. What do you think? How do you think I'm going to do now? Because I know this league better than any other league out there. That includes Canadian and college, okay? I know the NFL. I grew up watching the NFL. I love the NFL. Heck, I was doing money lines back when I was a little kid. 12 years old. I remember, at 12 years old, back in the late 70s, sitting at home, looking at the newspaper and circling which team was going to win that weekend. And I always had a winning record. Yeah, that's no exaggeration. Okay? Again, I'm doing this for free for you guys. I'm giving you this edge because I want you guys to win on Sundays. Okay? I want to win too. I want to make some money. I want to pay some bills. I want to be ahead of stuff. I think you guys would appreciate that. I did the homework, guys. Don't worry. It's not like I'm putting a shit list out there. I know that the parlay list I put out there, there's going to be somebody who's going to look at that list and go, what the hell list is this? I never heard of these guys like that running back from Atlanta, Tyler Algier. Guess what, guys? Last year, that guy was getting in the end zone a lot. Now, I don't go by last year because it's always a new season. I did leave out popular names like Bijan Robinson, his teammate. I left out popular names like Malik Neighbors, Justin Jefferson. I left out Caleb Williams. I left out popular names. Why? Because they don't carry the value. I'm giving you a list of guys that aren't carrying the value. I'm going to be doing this every weekend, guys. I'm going to be bringing you a list of guys, touchdowns. This is the part I love about betting. When I look at my sports app, I have FanDuel. I don't know if you guys got BetMGM or DraftKings or whatever, and I don't know how your apps play it out. Just be careful that you don't start winning so much that they're going to limit you. And I think that's something that they shouldn't do. I think that's wrong because if you're losing, they take your money, right? But if you start winning, it's almost like, oh no, we can't take your. We're going to have to limit you. Listen, guys, this is why I always say bet small to win big. But if you want to go ahead and throw $500, $700 already into week 1 and win, I think the most you can win is $1 million anyway. Why would you want to do that when you could be beating them every weekend by just limiting yourself? I mean, I get it. If it's a short thing, I'm going to beat them the first time out. I don't care if they ban me. Okay, I get it. Listen, it's what works for you. I'm just saying as advice, bet more to win big, right? It's not like you're throwing $200 onto that pot. But if you do and you win, and let's say it was on the list I just gave you, man, that's awesome. Please leave it on the comments. I would love to hear about it. I would love to hear all your stories and how you guys are doing. I'm so happy to be back for you guys, man. We did well with the UFO. Now it's the NFL season. I'm Casino Pete, and thank you for tuning in and watching. I hope, if I hear anything, I'll just, or if you guys hear anything, put it on the comments, right? Listen, we're still at that amateur age of betting for me, right, on YouTube. But I'm not going to present you a basement full of sports figures, posters. I wish I could. right? I do have helmets back there. I do have helmets. I think there's one on the side here, Terry Bradshaw helmet. I got a Jack Lambert because I grew up a Steelers fan in the 70s. I got a Jack Lambert helmet. Those are the old helmets, not the buckets they wear today, right? Game is totally different now. But this is what I gave you guys, and I hope you run with it. I'm trying to help you guys win money. Please take this list, run with it, do it on your sports app. Let's get that money, guys. I'll see you next week when I think it's, next week, right? Or in 2 weeks, right? Will be week 2. And we're going to go right back at it, all right? Hopefully that video is shorter than this one, but at least this is week 1 and I had to get it out there, all right? And, I'm so sorry that you guys waited so late for it, but we have to do it right. And I did it right for you guys. I know you guys are going to make money this weekend. Trust me. I know you guys. Remember, week 1 is always unpredictable, right? There might be an upset looming. Be careful with your point spreads. If money rolls too much on one team, what does Vegas do? Strange things happen. But anyway, guys, good luck with my picks. Good luck with my touchdown list. If you want to mix and match your own touchdown list, go for it. I left out the favorites. The most obvious players are not on these lists. I left them out for a reason because I want you guys to concentrate on the value of your touchdown list. That's why I did it. All right, guys, enough said. I'm rambling at this point. I want you guys to enjoy your evening or whatever it is you guys are doing, and we'll be tuning in soon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Casino Pete out. Hit that like and subscribe button for me, fellas. Much appreciated. Love you guys, and good luck.